The film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's beloved novel It Ends With Us wasn't just a project, it was a battlefield for its cast and crew. As the crew members have begun to express their experiences working alongside Blake Lively, it paints a troubling picture that extends beyond typical celebrity behavior. Those involved in the production have shared stories of mistreatment and a toxic work environment, primarily attributed to Lively's actions and demeanor on set, the dynamics of power. On finalizing the direction and ownership of the project, Justin Baldoni, the director, found himself in a position that could only be described as tumultuous at best. After Blake Lively joined the project, it became apparent that her presence would significantly alter the dynamics on set. Former crew members have recounted feelings of being relegated to the sidelines. Rather than collaborating effectively with Baldoni, who had been helming the project since its inception, Lively's apparent desire for control drastically shifted the atmosphere. This change was not merely about creative direction, it sent shockwaves through the entire crew, leading many to feel disposable, a sentiment they couldn't easily conceal. In what was meant to be a collaborative space, Lively took the reins, affecting the decisions made regarding not only the script but also the editing process. With Justin's lawsuit providing a closer look, a troubling pattern emerged. Lively exercised unilateral control over crucial aspects, dismissing many crew members who had contributed positively before her involvement. The editors, in particular, faced her ire when she insisted upon taking control of the final cut. A directive that typically falls under the purview of the director, Lively's insistence on editing the film herself ultimately led to the dismissal of the original editing team, replacing them with her own preferred professionals, including those who had previously worked with her husband, Ryan Reynolds. A hostile work environment, in illuminating the tensions faced by the production crew, a stark narrative surfaces. The editor's experiences, chronicled in text exchanges surfaced during legal proceedings, reveal a grim reality. From day one, it seemed whatever goodwill existed during production was gradually eroded. One editor expressed the desire for Lively to feel satisfied, despite how unreasonable her demands had been all along. Knowing that Lively expected to dictate every element of the schedule left the crew feeling burdened and anxious, constantly worried that their professionalism would be undermined. American pop culture has often lionized actors and actresses, but behind the veneer of glamour lies a truth that can sometimes be less than uplifting. The crew's trenches are filled with long hours and professional sacrifices, and witnessing Lively's actions drove home the reality of an industry where not everyone treats others with respect. One text exchange highlighted how broken morale was becoming. The once enthusiastic anticipation of viewing their hard work in a public format was shadowed by uncertainty, as many feared that Lively's heavy-handed edits would overshadow the narrative they had passionately contributed to. Unbelievable, one editor replied when hearing about the plans for a public showing of what should have been a collaborative effort. The shock wasn't merely about the decision but also about the growing rift between Lively and the team invested in the project. The looming threat around the final presentation added another layer of tension the crew had to navigate, with some editors explicitly stating their unwillingness to be physically present at the premiere with her. Misguided charitable intentions, compounding the hostilities on set, was Blake's decision to bring her children to the workplace, which she framed as a charitable endeavor to raise money for sick kids and horses. While philanthropy is commendable, many crew members viewed this as misguided given the context. The strike affecting the film industry had already thinned their financial resources, many staff members were on the brink of financial ruin, and the pressure to donate was palpable. Insiders noted that although the intention may have been good, Lively's execution came off as tone-deaf, demonstrating a lack of empathy and awareness for the team's struggles. Some crew members were in precarious financial situations, scraping by as they managed mortgage payments or worrying about losing homes. A sensitive initiative can inspire, but being thrust into a position where donation was expected created discomfort and apprehension. Lively, as the highest-profile individual on set, inadvertently weaponized her status, ensuring that her crew felt the pressure to comply. An evolving reputation. As the days turned into weeks of grueling work, the crew members' perceptions of Lively only darkened, fueling a belief that she carried an unfairly entitled disposition. Onlookers reported that her attitude often came across as needlessly abrasive, often resulting in avoidable frustrations. Despite the absence of overt altercations, a pervasive tension surrounded her presence, creating an atmosphere that was thick with unspoken discontent. Justin Baldoni, visibly affected, became increasingly overwhelmed by Lively's propensity to disrupt the workflow, leaving him to redirect questions toward her, succinctly acknowledging his dwindling control. Crew members experienced Lively's harsh demeanor regarding their roles and responsibilities, from the wardrobe department to the composer hired for the score. Multiple instances illustrated how she systematically overstepped boundaries, disregarding input and expertise. The costume designer Eric Damon, seasoned and knowledgeable, found himself sidelined as Lively took it upon herself to dictate wardrobe decisions, thereby compromising the team's efforts and resources. Professionalism endured blow after blow as she submitted photo inspirations and directives along her specifications, leading to unnecessary costs and time squandered. Dismissing the professionals, the undermining didn't stop there. She extended her reach into the sound department, disregarding the efforts of an awarded composer who had meticulously crafted a score for the film. Their contributions were summarily dismissed in preference for a composer connected to her husband, further manifesting a repugnant trend of favoritism. Lively's inclination to favor personal relationships over professional competence echoed through the hallways of the production. This disregard for industry talent not only alienated professionals but exemplified an unsettling trend of who you know outshining what you can do. Lawsuits and allegations of misconduct. The situation took an ominous turn when allegations began to surface, spearheaded by Lively's federal lawsuit against Baldoni. In her accusations against the director, she alleged harassment and failure to provide a safe working environment that incorporated an intimacy coordinator on set. Attempts to manage on-set interactions without an established professional to guide actors through intimate scenes resulted in a chaotic environment devoid of appropriate boundaries. The lawsuits painted a troubling picture of an environment where professionalism was overshadowed by intimidation, manipulation, and favoritism. Lively's allegations against Baldoni were compounded by claims that she faced unwanted advances, which seemed ironic on the surface, given that her refusal to involve coordination efforts not only disregarded her collaborators but showcased a clear lack of regard for set protocols. A shift in the narrative, the industry began to buzz with tales of discord, with many crew members stepping forward to corroborate the increasingly negative experiences of working alongside Blake Lively. Once celebrated for her talent, Lively's image began to shift toward one more marred by insensitivity, entitlement, and a disturbing dismissal of those who were merely trying to do their jobs. In a world striving for equality and understanding, the production of It Ends With Us revealed a microcosm of the systemic issues faced within the industry. The task of creating art should be collaborative, yet for a few involved, it turned into an emotional and creative wrestling match, a battle for dignity, recognition, and respect. Conclusion: as tales of the hardships endured on the set circulate, the echoes of It Ends With Us will resonate beyond its cinematic release. The crew's plight serves as a poignant reminder that the old adage remains ever true: greatness is best achieved through teamwork, respect, and humility. However, in a world often preoccupied with fame and the glimmer of Hollywood, it becomes crucial that those within the industry recognize their roles as contributors to the tapestry they collectively create. While some narratives surrounding Blake Lively may fade into history as mere gossip, the fundamental issues highlighted by the experiences of those who labored alongside her could very well lead to much-needed change within the film industry. There lies an opportunity for awareness and growth, providing a voice to the often overlooked workers who contribute tirelessly behind the scenes. As the credits roll on the tumultuous production of It Ends With Us, it is clear that there's more to the story than just a film. It's an invocation for a more inclusive and respectful industry environment.